What brings me here today is I'm here to reply to ESPN's Instagram post on who would you rather start your franchise with, Anthony Davis or Luka Doncic? The answer to that of who I'd want to start my franchise with is Luka Doncic. But in terms of who's a better basketball player, the answer is clearly Anthony Davis. Both of these are not really up for debate, and I'm not here to debate anyone. But before I get into why I would start my franchise with Luka Doncic, I'm going to explain why Anthony Davis is a better player than Luka, and why on the top 10 list, I will always put Anthony Davis above Luka Doncic. First things first, Anthony Davis, as a big in this league, stands 7 feet tall, has no weaknesses. There is nothing he can't do. He's one of, if not the most complete basketball player we have in this league. And in terms of purely a basketball talent, he's a top 3 talent in this league. Starting on the defensive side of the ball, Anthony Davis protects the rim as good as anyone, if not the best. And he can guard all 5 positions. Nothing he can't do on the defensive side of the ball. And offensively, standing at 7 feet tall, basically a cheat code and a juggernaut when it comes to the pick and roll. You dump him the ball at the high post, he's an automatic bucket, whether it's a mid-range, a step back mid-range, a post fadeaway, could put the ball on the floor, get to the rim and finish. His touch around the rim is very underappreciated, and his touch around the rim is very impressive for a guy that size, and can get to the free throw line and shoot about 84%. Oh, and by the way, can stretch it out to 3-point range. I mean, he does everything and more you can ask in a player, especially being at that size. He is unguardable. You give Anthony Davis a one-on-one ISO matchup in the high post, you know you're getting a bucket. That's the kind of talent in Anthony Davis is, and that's why purely from a talent perspective, I don't think you can name 3 guys who are more talented than Anthony Davis. Luka is a superior talent. Let me make no mistake there. But on the defensive side of the ball, Luka does not play a lick of defense. Let's call a spade a spade. Sure, Luka can stretch, is one of the best 3-point shooters we have in this league, can give you 30 a game, one of the best facilitators we have in this league, but he is not a more talented player than an Anthony Davis. And Luka Doncic only shoots about 72% from the free throw line, versus Anthony Davis, a 7-footer who can shoot over 80%. That speaks volume. But that's not what this is about. That's not why I would start my franchise with Luka Doncic over Anthony Davis, even though Anthony Davis is a better player. In today's NBA, big men are just simply not as valuable as they used to be in the 90s, the early 2000s, and especially just throughout the history of basketball. It's not the same as a Hakeem Olajuwon or a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Shaquille O'Neal, where you could build your championship teams around guys like that, and you need that dominant big, that dominant center to win championships. Steph Curry, evolving the 3-point shot the way he did, changed the entire dynamic of the NBA, and it's come to a more of a shooting league and a more of a guard league. You need someone who can control the pace of the game. You need someone who could bring up the ball. You need someone who could basically control an offense, which ultimately will control a game, which is something Luka can do and something Anthony Davis cannot. Sure, we've seen Anthony Davis have a monster postseason he did last year with the Lakers, proved to be a top 2 to top 3 player in this league, if you're going to ask me. He hit a buzzer beater game-winning shot. We've seen him be clutch, but he's not a guy who's going to control the pace and basically control a game handling the basketball. He's not that type of facilitator. Sure, Anthony Davis can handle the ball, but he's not going to be a playmaker. He could give you buckets, and in an ISO situation, he is an automatic bucket, but he's not going to be that guy to really you could hand him the ball and say, take me to the promised land, a way Luka Doncic can. We've seen him hit multiple buzzer beaters in his young career. We've seen him do it in the playoffs against the Clippers. Luka Doncic is the guy who could bring up the ball, control the pace of a game, control an offense, facilitate better than anyone, give you 30, and elevates in the clutch. That's why Luka Doncic is simply a more valuable player to build your team around than an Anthony Davis. If you can't control a pace of the game, if you're not going to be able to bring up the ball in today's NBA, you're simply just not as valuable as a guy who can. That's ultimately the biggest reason, and honestly, the only reason why in terms of starting a franchise, I would take Luka Doncic or Anthony Davis. But that's going to wrap up today's show. Let me know in the comment section below, who do you believe is a better player between Anthony Davis and Luka Doncic? And who would you rather start your franchise with, Luka or AD? And as always, thank you for tuning into the Falco Takeaway. Thank you for watching my content. And if you haven't already, make sure you follow the Falco Takeaway on Instagram and YouTube. for more of my content.